Basement with JaVonne and Terez.
I am Jensen Atwood, and you are watching In the Basement with JaVonne and Terez.
One take. Thank you, Jensen.
Loved it.
Hi, I'm Rodney. You're watching The Basement. Stay tuned.
Okay.
The Basement.
All right.
JaVonne and Terez.
Hey, this is Leon. That's right, Leon, from some of your favorite movies, and I'm at brunch in the basement with Terez and JaVonne. Stay here with me. Stay here with me.
Still in the basement, no longer alone, with my homegirl Terez on the microphone. Music, politics, or just chatting it up. Brunch in the basement, see, that's what's up. You never know who might run through. Legendary artists or someone brand new. You miss a lot when you miss one day. At least that's what I heard somebody say. But it doesn't really matter what whoever says. It's always a good show with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Brunch in the basement with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Let's see who we got today. Come on, everybody's a friend in my head. I already know everybody. Whatever it is, it's gonna be good. One day I'll tell you about me and Shaka Khan, but you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but she doesn't know anything about it. But anyway. No, she doesn't. She wasn't even there actually. But anyway.
Our senses though, Jay. Like she's got our ears and
I'm gonna send y'all some perfume. I'll definitely get an address. I'll send y'all out tomorrow.
You can send me some cologne, because I mean, you know. Yeah. Just in case I should meet Shaka Khan, I want to smell really, you know, nice.
Oh God.
Okie dokie, babe. Whatever you say.
The time, so
and we thank you for that.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. This part, that little piece, I'm just gonna keep and play it all the time for myself. But no, I'm just teasing. Hey everybody, my name is JaVonne and welcome to Brunch in the Basement with JaVonne and Terez. So for the TikTokers, okay? First of all, welcome everybody. Welcome. But for the TikTokers in particular, you are getting to see a behind the scenes version of Brunch in the Basement with JaVonne and Terez, because you're seeing everything from my perspective. You are seeing the background stuff. Like, for instance, you can see where there are comments on the side from Pop before they pop up on the screen. Good morning, Poppy Chulo. You are watching and listening to Live in the Basement with JaVonne and Terez on WJBR Internet Radio, the best podcast on Saturday. Just a reminder that the views, information, or opinions expressed during Live in the Basement series are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of WJBR Internet Radio. Also, I just wanted to remind you all that WJBR Internet Radio is for the inquisitive mind and the sophisticated ear. So, you know, if you're not sophisticated and you're not inquisitive and you don't want to learn anything, then you may as well just go on about your business, because if you stick around here, you just might learn something. Like how cool my freaking co-hostess is. I mean, how mad cool is this? What's up, Terez?
What's up, baby? What's up? I had an attack of the sinus just now. It's like,
oh my God.
Normally we have like tissue here, like on the living room table, and no can do. I had to do a dart, so thank you. Excuse me.
Hey, you know I got you, baby. You know I got you. Good morning, Poppy Chulo, basement team, basement dwellers, our community, our lovers. Happy Saturday, y'all. Happy Saturday.
So, a long week.
Anybody watching on TikTok, please share, tap the screen, and do all the TikTok-y things that you do. For those of you watching on Instagram, let me take a quick look. And for the TikTokers, this is what I mean, that you have a behind the scenes view. You can see I just clicked on to TikTok, and you can see we're a little bit behind there.
Ooh.
ADR for love. Welcome. So we're gonna let I guess Instagram kind of marinates. You know, it comes on when it wants to come on and does what it wants to do. But how are you doing today, Terez?
I'm doing okay today. Can't complain. I don't know what this is. Is it? I don't think it's a cold, but a little sinus something coming on, and I'm glad it's coming out. But other than that, other than bodily functions happening, life is life.
But you know, as long as bodily functions are happening and you can acknowledge them, then that means that
Amongst the living.
you know.
Pop,
I did not get your package. I know Terez received hers yesterday. I heard you have a big package, but I have not yet received it, Pop.
Oh, it's a surprise, and I'm not gonna say anything.
Wait a minute. Did you catch my joke? I know Pop did. Jesus. I can't help it, Pop. I can't help it. So look, we're gonna kick things off with Gigi, because Gigi is here. Gigi's like, me? Really? Oh, shit. And see, the people watching from TikTok, y'all can see Gigi, you know, from behind the scenes. Everybody else, nobody else can see Gigi but me. And Pop said, yes, call me the mailman. I love me some Poppy Chulo. And I love me some Gigi. So G, you ready? Nod if you ready. Oh, she gave me 2 thumbs up. So everybody, this is Gigi. How you doing, love?
What's up? What's up, ladies? Good morning, everybody.
morning.
Happy Saturday. How y'all doing?
We good, baby. We good. Likeable Liberal said good morning as well.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, I rock my hats, right? So the other day I was in ShopRite. Hey Pop, good morning. So I was in ShopRite, and there was this couple standing close to where I was. And let me tell you, I could tell that they read my hat, because they looked at me, and then he kind of walked around, and he said, "We gotta move." I heard him say, "We need to move." I was
what
like,
does he say?
"Whoa."
Lean in a little bit.
Make lying wrong again.
Yeah. I mean, it's that simple.
I think so. And good morning, Duma. I see you, love.
So I'm just like, whatever. And saw it again yesterday. Some guy was
But
saying
that's
something
good.
on the phone.
If people are, you know, like, oh my God, we can't lie, we must move. Let them liars move. That's all.
Bye. Fly on, birdie.
It happened.
Oh, let me tell you, it has been some kind of week. The stuff that has been going on, the stuff that I have been listening to, it has been unreal. I'm telling you. The faithful is real. I mean, it has been listening to some of the stories, especially after everyone's family and friends eating day, because you know I don't recognize that as Thanksgiving, but friends and family eating day. So while everybody was out there doing that, I could watch some of the stuff going on TikTok and people being ousted. And there was this one I listened to this morning, there was a lady. So if you're sitting there, make sure y'all eat first before y'all end up, you know, sitting at the table.
If you got something to say it now or forever hold your peace, right? Good morning, Ryan. Thanks for joining. Please give us some hearts, some likes, some roses, some something. I don't know.
Yep. Keep tapping that screen on TikTok, y'all. Come on, tap the screen. Like the show, share. Share.
Yeah, I
You
saw
share.
I saw some things too. Like I saw this one guy on TikTok was saying how his grandfather is a rich, very
Mm-hmm.
wealthy guy, and
Mm-hmm.
cowboy hat wearing, very conservative leaning kind of guy, and they were at the table, and now he's older and retired and everything, and the young people at the table, the young adults were all, for 45, whatever.
Oh,
And
She said young 45.
yeah, so he said, look, the reason I got my first job and my start in this country was because I was gifted um an an award as an Appalachian American.
Hmm.
a
I was
what?
an Appalachian, I don't know. I was able to get your mother into college from a TAP program. And I got from the federal government assistance with my first house. I got assistance from the federal government when you needed X, Y, and Z, whatever. He was going on a rant, and he was saying he was showing up. He was showing in terms of how the government and how all of these quote unquote liberal programs
Programs.
helped him to get a start and to help him to help his mother, who apparently was the mother of these people at the table.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And he was saying, if you want, if you teach a man to, if you give a man a fish and he's ungrateful and wants more fish, throw his ass in the river. I'm sick of y'all. I didn't vote for who y'all voted for. That's what he said. So yeah, he said because everybody needs help. He said
Mm-hmm.
he said, how you gonna go for they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, instead of the people trying to help you, your dumbasses get your first house. Y'all still living
Mm-hmm. Right. That part.
you said y'all still living with your mama?
yeah, y'all still
Right.
living with your mother. How you
Exactly.
gonna not vote for the person trying to give you a break so you can get your own house? What's wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
He wants them out.
But see, here's my thing. You raised these fools.
Right. Who raised you?
Mm.
You 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 know, you could have done that when they were 10.
There's a
Again.
point when that when those teenage years hit and they start thinking they haven't gotten back in that boomerang where the kid comes back and says, hey, you know what, mom, dad, you were right about X, Y, and Z. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they're in those spaces sometimes as they don't come back from those teenage years where they get rebellious and think they know the world
Right.
and the way in which we live, and they'll be back. They'll be back.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're spoiled. They have no. I was just talking to Jaji about that yesterday, saying this generation, they couldn't even do a third of what we've been through. They have no clue because we have totally spoiled them between all of the stuff, the social media, the computers, and everything. They have no understanding. You remember a map? Like, do they even know what a real map is? Could they
Mm,
even find themselves if they got lost if they didn't have their cell phone? Find
mm.
themselves. You hear what I'm saying? I ain't saying find
No.
nowhere to go. They couldn't find themselves without a
If you
without a
don't
cell phone.
if you don't know how
Mm,
to dial a rotary phone, don't talk to me.
mm.
Man, we went to Five Below yesterday. And remember that old school thing where the thing went like this that we played with? It rolled back and you roll. I was like, oh, me and Johnny were like, wow, you remember that? I said, these kids, nothing.
Mm, mm.
It's the little things that made us happy. Some two little balls clicking together. We
Oh,
sit there
click
for
clack.
hours.
Yeah.
The click clacks
Click clacks,
for
what?
hours.
Click
Those little
clacks,
bruises on your wrist.
you know, click clacks, jacks, and a
Jacks.
slinky.
Mm.
Yep.
You good for the day.
Good
So
for the
Gigi,
day.
tell us what's going on in the news and the politics or whatever you've heard recently, because
Ooh.
I have been staying away from all of it. I can no longer handle the truth.
All right, so I'm gonna bring some good news first. Let's bring some good news. So, did y'all know what Biden did? Let's go. Let's talk about
Oh, the
better
judges.
sleep. You know what they call Sleepy Joe. No, while y'all was sleeping, Joe was working because Joe has been kicking butt. Joe, literally, thank you, Joe. Thank you, Joe. That's gonna be my new motto. Thank you, Joe. Right? He not only appointed, right? We know our first African American Supreme Court Justice, Ketanji
Yes.
Brown Jackson,
Yes.
but he had confirmed 61 Black federal judges to the bench. Well, everybody else over there, and 39 of those right now are Black women. So come on, give it up for Joe.
Those are
Yes.
lifetime positions as well.
Yes.
So,
Are
Yes.
they?
Yes, they are.
Now
Right.
that I didn't hear.
Yes, lifetime appointments. Yes, they are.
Now, federal judges, where are they? Do we know where they are? Where they're placed?
No, I do not know. I haven't looked up the different states, but I will get that information for us for next week, so we have that. But just hearing that, I was ecstatic.
There's a few in the South, in the southern states.
Yes, right.
Because they needed more in those states than anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Hey,
yes,
if you're watching us on YouTube live at WJBR Internet Radio, please share and subscribe. This is Internet Radio for the inquisitive mind and the sophisticated ear. And if you're watching us on TikTok, hit the hearts, tap the screen, and show us the love.
All right. So, the other thing. So this guy named John Phelan, he just bought his job, right? He will be over our Navy. He paid $1.5 million for him to be over $250 billion budget for the Navy. This man has zero military experience, zero defense contracting experience. He has not been anything. This is insane.
Wow.
You know what I don't understand about that, Gigi? And I'd heard something like that, but I promised myself I was not going to start digging. How do you own the Navy?
Well, the reason I said he's going to be over it, right? So they're going to be reporting to him.
Mm-hmm.
But he just ended up, this is a guy who has no experience in anything. And he literally just, did his donation, I guess, over to the campaign. And, the loyalists, the ones that you just decide that they're going to put up some money. And I mean, think about it. He's going to be reporting to a part-time Fox News host.
Yeah. See, this is the thing. This is his cabinet. And if you want a spot in the cabinet, if you have enough money, you could get in. You just pay him and he gives you a spot, which I think that's illegal.
You would think, but in Trump's world, everything is, DJT world, everything is what it is.
So I just want to read this post that Pop just made, and I want to say hey to Walt, Big Brother Walt, watching us on the live on TikTok. Walt, get in here, say hi. What's up with that? Anyway, as Biden's term nears its end, Senate Democrats have no time to waste. As I write this, there are 16 nominees currently pending on the Senate floor, 4 circuit nominees and 12 district nominees. Let's do it. Get it.
Yeah, let's go. So,
I still say he should have made Kamala.
Hey, Shay.
Do Kamala, like made her president the last month.
I know.
But I'm just curious what she could have accomplished in that 1 month.
Now looking for her to come. She could have finished out what he's reporting now.
Yeah. Just to put it in a face.
Yeah.
That's all. Just to put it in their face.
face. Ah.
Gigi meant that shit.
That's
I
right.
know.
Just
She
put
was
it in
like,
their
put it in
face.
his face. Put it in his
I'm so sick of them damn people. Y'all don't understand. When I be listening to some of this stuff, I'm telling you, I would probably have to get a phone every day because I'll be ready to throw it. Listening to some of this stuff is just ridiculous. It's insane. What he's been real quiet except for his threats of his little finger war with Canada and Mexico. What I love is how our Mexico president then showed him, and he can't stand taking nothing from a woman. A woman to tell him no. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
I'm a little concerned though. I have to tell you, I'm not a little concerned. I'm very concerned because I don't think he really understands how the world works and
No, he
how
doesn't.
partnering with our neighbors and continuing positive relationships with them are important. I think he thinks if he can beat them,
Threaten them,
threaten them
intimidate.
with war, nukes, things
Mhm.
like that, then that makes him powerful. But what keeps America powerful is our alliances
Yes, that's
across the
right.
world. Yes, we have a very strong military, but we also have partners. We need our partners in the world. I mean, the trade. We Why in the world would you impose tariffs on Canada when they give us oil? When they're our biggest
Cars.
suppliers of the things that we need the most.
Yeah.
Why does he always pick on Mexico? What the fuck? What is it with him and Mexico?
It's not just him in Mexico. It's been us with Mexico, right? When you really think back to how Mexico even came, how we came, how much land we stole from Mexico, all of
It's
California, Arizona,
ridiculous.
whole
It's
West Side.
ridiculous.
Please, that's just been a thing against Mexico from way back when.
It's
Yes.
ridiculous. It is
It
ridiculous.
is.
And where
It
do you think
is.
these tariffs are going to ultimately fall on the most? It's going to hit the people
But
because
people,
The
if you flood
lowest
somebody with a
of the
tariff,
low.
they're going to have to boost up whatever you are just to be able to meet the tariff that you put on. It's not, and then don't think that you're going to do any trading back and forth with them without getting the same imposed tariffs.
this is just
Yep.
ridiculous. Why
It
is it
is.
that we must be traumatized with this again?
And
You know what? They say those who forget are doomed to repeat. And
That's it.
those who forgot what it was like being encaged
hmm
for 4 years, here we go again.
Here we go.
Here you go, big brother Walt.
Walt. But something funny too. There are a lot of people that are just saying that he's what do you guys think about the idea that some people are saying that he's just doing the verbal stuff and he won't do diddly squat? Particularly with the I read the letter that the president of Mexico responded. I thought it was very intelligent.
Very well
and
written.
I think that most of the people I remember, and I think I shared this with you before, JaVonne, that I was in Mexico getting in an elevator, and as a tourist, I was getting in the elevator with one of the staff from the hotel, and he smiled. He said, "Hola." I said, "Hola," and then he looked at me and he was like, "Are you American?" And I said, "Yes." So then he smiled and he said, "Trump," and just shook his head. So I just said, "Yeah." I said, and the fact that he felt that he could do that, because they clearly know, because colonization is all over the planet, right? So he just shook his head. So I'm thinking, like, where's the wall that he told them they were building? Like, ain't nobody paying him no mind outside of he and Putin.
So what I think, or what I believe, because if you're not actually in the room, whatever you're hearing is sus.
Right.
Because each side has a story.
Right.
Now, I'm more inclined to believe the other side of the story, but there may be a little truth in his side of the story. Maybe. I don't know. However, he actually tried to do a lot of the wicked things that he had intended.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is that he was stopped by some right-minded, like some thinking people in his
Republicans.
cabinet
Mm-hmm.
and in the Congress and in the Senate.
Yeah.
The problem now, and here's what worries me, is that his cabinet is now full of Fox News host people he's bribed in the past, that now that people who have bribed him, people who
Mm-hmm.
just want to be close. I want to be next to you. Just people that are all up in his, and
Hoo-ha.
right.
Mm.
And he has the Senate and he has the House. And worst of all, and most scary of all things, he has the Supreme Court, which is the scariest of all things, because if a if anybody, a president or anybody, does something that's illegal or that's dangerous, you could always run to the Supreme Court. Look, we're going to sue, we're going to take it up the line, we're going to take it up to the Supreme Court. This Supreme Court has already said that he could do whatever he wants. He's immune.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now, do you think that's actually going to play itself out just that way?
I think
Yes,
that if
I do.
it is for supremacy, because that is the playground, the what is it, the playbook?
The play.
If it further supports supremacy, yes. I don't know, and I think that they think that being in alliance with communists and fascists countries, being in alliance with like Putin, with communist countries, as opposed to those who are our allies, America's allies now, that we've been working with since the world wars, getting out of NATO, pulling out of NATO, and working on the other side, will then make America a communist country, and everybody has to bow to the king
Mm-hmm.
in autocracy, and they can keep their power. I think he's going to try it. Whether or not it will succeed, I do not know. I could be wrong. Chime in if y'all think I'm wrong, but I just wanted to get out my full thought. Let me just read what Pop has been saying, and then y'all please jump in. Mexico and Canada are the second and third top suppliers of goods to the United States, according to the Office of U.S. Trade Representative, accounting for nearly 30% of trade volumes. Canada sends about 75% of its total exports to the United States. The Supreme Court, according to Nathan James, how you doing, Nathan?
Hey, Nathan.
Trump
Hi, Nathan.
the Republic on a silver platter. Yes, I agree with that.
Mhm.
And that is the thing that scares me. He could do whatever he wants, because the
Yeah.
Supreme Court has no alliance, no allegiance to the United States and the Constitution, but they have alliance and allegiance to him. And
Mhm.
that is the same for these congressmen and a lot of the senators too. And that really scares me. Orange Face says Mexico's president promised to close the border. She said that's not true.
Yeah. She said he lied.
Yep. Well, that's par for the course. In
Mhm.
what looks like a case of he said, she said, that guy and the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum, appear to have starkly different recollections of a conversation that covered the hot button issue of migration. But that's also par for the course. He always misrepresents the truth.
Mhm.
What did they came up with the term alternate facts, which there's still no
Right.
thing. There's no such a thing, right? The
Yes.
truth is the truth. There's no alternate truth. It's what it is. Congressional Democrats are trying to get the No Kings Act bill passed to prevent a dictatorship before January 20th.
I never even heard the No Kings Act bill.
That's something that what's his name, the Congressman Adam Schiff and Congress is trying to get passed, so that this bill, so that Biden can sign it into law, and then we cannot become a fascist. I don't know exactly what the rules are that they're trying to enact, but they're trying to stop him and be proactive ahead of time, because once he's in there and once he starts making these rules and laws and all these sycophants, they just do what his bidding. Remember, he wanted to shoot the Black Lives Matter protesters who were peacefully protesting, so he could go and hold that Bible in front of that thing and take a picture. And he said to General Milley, "Can't we just shoot him?"
Yes, yep, he sure did.
The general said, "No, we can't just shoot. These are citizens." And he says, "Well, can't we shoot them in the kneecaps?"
You know what
and what they did instead was they gassed the people. They shot like tear gas.
Tear gas, yeah, they did.
You know what's interesting about that, and I'm not playing devil's advocate, because you already know how I feel about gas, right? But he has a real interesting way of posing a statement like a question. So you can't. So that means he's going to accept zero responsibility for the outcome.
Absolutely.
He'll say, "Can't we?" Because he knows it's shock value. He knows how to play in the hands of his constituents. He knows.
Right.
He knows exactly what to say to get them started and to get us started. So saying, "Can't we do this?" He's not giving an order. That's not an order.
Constituents, one thing. His people who want to do the same things. He has a bunch of white supremacists and nationalists, or whatever they
white nationalists, Christian nationalists, yes.
In his cabinet that want to shoot the Black Lives Matter people. He has people who have never served in the military, being in charge of the military, who do not know the laws and don't have that allegiance to the Constitution and America, the country, to preserve that in the same way. And so if he says, "Can we shoot them?" Well, why not? Pow pow.
No. I'm gonna say this. Yeah, he poses them and he poses it like a question, but this is the same man that talked about, "I didn't tell them to do this. I don't know."
Right.
He's not going to accept any responsibility for it.
Never.
No, he's not.
The Constitution, although it's in place, and a whole lot of our founding father laws, but I always say this: it was not built for us. It is doing what it's supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like it is doing what it's supposed to do because it was never built for us. And the idea of this liberty and justice for all bullshit.
It is bullshit.
I got that.
But we wouldn't be fighting for DEI and liberty and justice if it existed and it was meant for us in the Constitution to begin with. And I'm not saying don't keep hope, because we have to keep something. But the subscription, or the renewal of the subscription to the Constitution of the United States, is a bag of rocks. I think it does not benefit the people. It does not serve everybody. We know that. They put laws in place that they consistently break. And I think that Trump, Glowworm, is exactly an example, a living example of what you can do and get away with if you have that space.
Yeah. He intends to go around every single rule,
breaking every law that he can, which is emboldening people to do the same. And that's the scariest part to me.
Yeah.
Because those people that are watching, when you talk about the highest position in the land, and you are teaching our children, that's why I said this, you're teaching our children it's okay to lie, deceive, to treat people badly, when we've done all we could through our lives to teach our children to treat people with kindness and love and empathy. And now you have this person doing the complete opposite. This world will turn into what it is in his mind. Right. Yeah. So what I wanted to say to your statement, JaVonne, about what I see that can happen. So I've said this to Jaji, and she's like, "Do you believe this?" And I've been saying it for a long time. This whole plan of theirs is to help who we know over there in Russia to help him get the control that he needs to get, where then we will become, instead of the highest country in the land, to becoming emboldened under them. And if people aren't paying attention to that, that is what this whole plan is about. Now, it might not be that this is what they're anticipating to happen, but you can't tell me that as you continue to help Russia and their plan to take out Ukraine, which we know it means that he'll be able to move forward in other countries. And every time he moves forward in other countries, having that military to now be reporting to him. And then you have him and South Korea all of a sudden, okie dokie, and being friends, right? Think about that. And now they're taking over and doing what they need to. Who then becomes the strongest empowered
Exactly.
if these two come together? It's no longer us.
But how does that benefit? And again, this is a question. How does that benefit our colonizers here? Do you think they want North Korea or Russia taken over?
Because they don't see it. They
But-
don't see the
right,
bigger
but the
plan.
thing
They
is-
just think, oh, I'm gonna have me some cheaper eggs next month. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
but the colonizers in office, okay, those who sit in Congress, those who sit in this nationalist mindset, are hoping for a one world order.
Yes, one world order.
A
Period.
And the question is, who's going to be that one world?
Right.
It's going to be.
It ain't going to be them.
No. But they don't understand
They
that.
don't see it.
They don't get
That's
that.
it. Guess what I found yesterday in Ollie's?
Oh, Jesus. And it always was to you gonna read that whole book.
Oh, I'm gonna read it.
I know.
You know it.
But without me cracking a page in it, the whole thing was to get the United States to go after each other because they're not strong enough to defeat us militarily. They wanted to have us implode, which we have done.
Right.
We have imploded and put someone in place that is going to do his bidding. And
that's it.
That's how they conquer America in their minds. They don't conquer. All right, let's get to some of these comments. Nathan James answers the questions about the No Kings Act. It's to codify into law that presidents cannot have absolute immunity. Oh, he also said that Trump lives in an alternate reality.
Yes, in his mind.
Right?
Reality show.
And just a reminder that you are watching and listening to Live in the Basement with JaVonne and Terez and Gigi. Look at that. If we were actually enforcing the Constitution, Terez, that guy would be ineligible to take office under Amendment 14, Section 3.
Okay, so why aren't we enforcing it?
Who's going to enforce it?
What exactly is that amendment? Somebody tell me, because I can't.
Let me pull it up.
Pull that up right now. I'd like to know what the amendment says, and then maybe we can speak to why it's not being enforced.
Was it even suggested?
I don't even know what the amendment says. So I don't know. I can't speak to that. On TikTok, I know a lot about this subject, sis. That's all I did in the past months. He wants to dismantle a lot of our systems, starting off by bringing the states and the federal to have no funding. Oh, the states to have no federal funding.
Oh, that's the insurrection.
So what does he want to do? Suffocate the states? And how does
no? Because here's the thing: the one of the senators from New York has said that she wants to stop providing taxes, stop paying taxes to the federal government, which New York gives like $6 billion
to the red states.
To the red states.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: all of these red states don't understand that they are being supported financially
By us.
by the blue states. The blue states
Hey.
have more revenue. We actually buy up their produce, and we give tax money to the federal government, which then trickles down to them
Yep.
because they don't earn as much money. They don't have as many thriving businesses.
Right.
So what was also recommended by this senator was that New York, Connecticut, and some other state secede from the union and start and become a part of Canada.
Okay, wait, repeat that again.
It was new.
You can't make this shit up.
Wait, what?
Maybe you can. I don't know. But
Repeat that again, JaVonne, please.
some senator from New York was suggesting that New York, Connecticut, and another blue state, northern blue state, I don't know which one, it must have been a big one, secede from the union and become a part of Canada. But I'll tell you this: Canadians get free health care, period.
Hmm.
Free medication, period. Okay? I might move back to New York. They do that. I'm just saying. Okay.
We have two parts of Amendment 14 up.
Right. So
That's okay.
Amendment 14 disqualifies someone from taking
Insurrection.
office if they have taken part in insurrection against the United States. He incited one. I'm not saying his name no more. I can't.
That's why I say
A
DJ
major,
too.
a major provision of the 14th Amendment was to grant citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, thereby granting citizenship to formerly enslaved people. I like the way you wrote that, Pop.
Mm-hmm.
The 14th Amendment granted U.S. citizenship to former enslaved people and contained 3 new limits on state power. A state shall not violate a citizen's privileges or immunities, shall not deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, and must guarantee all persons equal protections under the law. Section 3 of the 14th Amendment disqualifies people from holding office if they previously took an oath to support the Constitution, engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the Constitution. Okay, so I can answer to the best of my ability why I think this has not happened. It's not that it has not been suggested,
Mm-hmm.
but the reason why this has not happened is because he has not been convicted of treason or an insurrection. He was
Mm-hmm.
the House of Representatives brought him up on charges of
Mm-hmm.
insurrection. Okay, so the Democrats in the House of Representatives brought him up on those charges. It's like going to court, before you go to trial, not that jury, the other jury, grand jury.
Grand
The
jury.
grand jury.
Grand jury say that there's enough. He's indicted for insurrection. The Senate at that time was a majority Republican, and Mitch McConnell was the power in the head of the Senate. He was the majority leader, and he refused to impeach him. He was impeached, but he wasn't removed. He was impeached, which is the same as an indictment.
Right.
For
But Nathan says conviction is not a requirement, only participation.
yeah, but that has to be proven, and
And
that's
it wasn't.
even
Oh my!
hold
It
up,
wasn't because of just
It
what you
just-
said, that whole
right.
question thing. It wasn't
Because-
he told them. He
right. So what
There was
needed to happen.
Yes.
We saw what happened. We know what
saw
happened.
it. Right.
But because he did not get penalized for it, like he wasn't.
Mhm.
That was up to the Senate to say he's guilty and he can no longer become president. Nathan, you know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
The conviction may not be a requirement, but in this situation, because McConnell said there are laws and the people will decide in the courts, and then Biden comes along and says, let's just all get along. We're not going to go and persecute our political adversaries. We just, just everybody calm down. Trump go be good. I said it. Everybody calm down and let's just get to mending this country. So he does all of these great things that nobody's giving him credit for. And what did the other guy do? Run again for office. And when he did that, then they got Jack Smith.
Which that was a waste of so many tax dollars. Like, what the hell?
If they had done that from the beginning, got an independent if they would have done that from the beginning, we would not be here. As much as I appreciate all of the things that Joe did, thank you, Joe. The one thing that he could have done to prevent this is his fault as far as I'm concerned. I'm mad at Joe.
All of them.
Because I bet you one thing.
They would have did that to him.
Number one, but if Kamala had been president, she would have just said, look, first of all, she wouldn't have had Merrick Garland.
Right. That's what I was right. I was just about to say
because
him.
These are two older guys trying to be peaceful and nice. He got a nice district. Why you no.
He's just
go get Stacey Abrams. Go get I can see their faces, but I can't think of one of the black female DAs, or even Kamala, if she was the attorney general, would have went after straight up.
Any idea what she's gonna do after leaving office?
No.
Wherever
she ends up, can we all go?
Yeah, because a lot of those Democrat politicians are gonna have to leave the country because he's gonna go after them, and it will not be fair.
It will not be pretty.
It will not. Yeah, it's going to be shenanigans. I do foresee a bunch of shenanigans.
He ain't gonna do shit. He ain't gonna do shit.
But again, it's not just him, right? We all know that dementia has set into that man.
Thank you.
And it's everybody else that's worse.
No,
people that he has around him.
No, I get it. I understand. I understand everything that you said, and I agree with it. And that's why I'm thinking that he's such a Lady Eloise, right? Right?
I get
that. It kind of casts a shadow over the folks that are running around actually doing the deed. So I say we shine the light on the people that are going to actually be doing it. Because he is not going to be doing anything but running his mouth and collecting money from all the people that he promised stuff to.
And sitting there look crazy with who, the freaking musketeer.
Bye background. Oh, unapologetic Betty. Bye. Unapologetic Betty. I'll never get over that one. But yeah, that's and it's because he was elected that they will have power. And that's the point. That's my point.
That's it.
And whether he himself, he'll make some rumblings and some ramblings, and they will run and try to do what it is that he wants to do because they're all for it. They don't care. They don't care.
Yeah.
Trust me, they really didn't want him, but they needed his base to continue to get their goal across.
Yes, and a lot of the Republicans will tell you that they are embarrassed by him. They are because they recognize MAGA for not even being Republican. They are a renegade fallout posse that was birthed from the Republican Party. But like whatever he's gonna do and whatever he's being paid to do at this point is what it is. And I think that the younger, more I'll say, I'm trying to get a colorful name for them, but it didn't come up immediately other than assholes. The younger assholes, mega jerks running around are going to be the ones that are doing all the work. But see, they should not be allowed to do it in the dark. When they start making moves, as soon as they start busting moves, put them on blast. You know what I mean? Or start that early. Yeah, we're watching this, and this, because you tend to not open a door that is being watched. And if you open it differently. Right now they're running amok because all eyes on him. And he's not going to be the one. He's just going to be the head cheerleader, and he's going to be the distraction. But you generally have to watch, and now, like case in point, the guy that was, we're going to be doing this and that and the other, and you threatening the AG of New York and going nuts about it, and you resign. Okay. But that same week, he had people on the rafters about his comment about, like his slanderous comment toward Tish James,
Yeah.
Like how did, like, again, and 5 minutes later, he's resigned. Oh really? What happened?
What happened?
What happened? Because 5 seconds ago, you and him was coming across calling all kinds of indecencies. What happened? And I think that like I'm on a self-care recovery mission, and I'm on a wait. Let's just see what he actually does, because all this fire and brimstone stuff that he's working on, is he an intelligent mofo? Absolutely not. Is he worth any more of my mental and physical health? Absolutely not. Can we wait and see? Is the possibility of all this stuff? I think that fear tactic and what he really wants to do, because see, Trump, him and his people.
I think, hold on one second, Rez. I think that you came up. I think you came up with the perfect name, Lady Eloise, from this day forward. Lady Eloise.
Lady Eloise.
All right. Right.
Basement dwellers, Lady Eloise.
Lady Eloise, you got it. And Lady Eloise and his posse want to be around to spend all the money that they're going to be stealing.
That's it.
Quickly. So
that is it.
Now there may be a lot of
grifting, honey.
Okay, so let's just be clear. Like, you want to steal, but so does that stealing the money and manipulating folks and having the understanding of power requires you to be alive to experience that, right?
Right.
So technically, he ain't gonna go but so far, because he has to be able to gloat. Narcissists have to be able to keep their supply, gloat, and be whatever it is.
Yes, they need that to feed them. They sure do.
Thank you. So psychologically, it doesn't quite twist that way, because generally the loudest person in the room is the most cowardice. And I'm not gonna say it, but because he doesn't roll alone, he got a little fake ass posse that he rolls with, and he tries to do the bullying, right? Okay, and
that's what they do all day, right?
Right, and usually people that roll in packs are that way. Absolutely. So I'm like, yeah, let's see what he says. Yeah, let's just see what he says, and let's see what he actually does. Now, does he have the power to do it? Do we like the way they're clearing the path for him and parting the Red Seas? Absolutely not. It's disgusting. I agree with both of you wholeheartedly, and all the possibilities that exist. But we ain't living in the possibility. We have to live in the actuality of what happens and be prepared for that. And I say, everybody,
a day at a time, like you said. I get that. I get that. So Pop is killing me with hashtag
orange face.
And then hashtag Lady Orange Face Eloise.
Look, I'm calling him Cheetolini, honey.
I like Cheetolini. I like that too.
Cheetolini.
Here's from Pop. As I quote actress Jennifer Lewis just said yesterday, these folks voted to have Lex Luthor coming into the White House. And then Nathan James said, Lex Luthor at least knew what he was trying to do, Ulysses. And then Pop says, Terez, I call the new young Republican demagogues.
Demagogues.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I feel that too, man. Look, all I can say is like you said, Terez, all we can do is wait and see. But I think we need to be prepared and not surprised by any possibility, because in 2016, from day one, I was shocked every day. I think that was the thing. I was shocked and appalled every single day. I could not believe. You remember, Gigi? We were on the phone every night after work. Did you see? Did you hear? Every freaking night. Every night. Whether it was the murder of the newsman, remember the remember that?
Yeah.
I mean, to blowing off and pushing the Queen of England out the way so he could move forward. Like all kinds of just like, who does these things? Like, but you know what? This time I'm not watching that close. I'm gonna let somebody else do it. Because I don't have it in me.
Yeah, we're drained. It's been a lot. Just think, it's been 9 years. Like, that is so much.
It has been crazy. When Biden got elected, I took a break. I was like, good. Like, at least, well, not when he got elected, when he finally got in, because I wasn't even sure what was going to happen with that, with all the people sitting in the Capitol and smearing it all over the place.
I knew Biden was going to get in. Trump only, Lady Eloise only wins with the women.
It's just crazy. It was just crazy. You shitting and taking a dump in the Capitol and smearing it on the walls because you mad? You're not mad. You're fucking insane. Okay, that's fucking
insane.
You need to be in a hospital somewhere, smearing your shit somewhere. What's wrong with these people?
And and they have the nerve to always talk down to us.
Nasty, nasty, nasty.
Supremacy, white supremacy,
and the disrespect. You know, look.
That's claiming it's their house. This is our house. Well, we know where you live. That's what you do in your house.
Ladies, you know, look, it is what it is. We are where we are, but we can also hope for the best, right?
Yes, we can.
We should be sending out positive energy towards Biden, Kamala, and those
the Obamas.
Yes, the Obamas and those House Republicans and senators who are trying to hurry up and put something in place so that, you know, we can still have some kind of fucking sanity in this place. And let's hope that the emperor has no clothing.
Yes, Nathan, I love that picture, and you are so right.
Everyone
honey.
See the picture.
That's us, like,
of the black women on the rooftop, calmly drinking tea and letting it all burn. That's exactly how I feel now.
That's it.
You know, just, you know, for all of the LGBTQIA community, all of the brown community, black, brown, those people who are struggling with immigration. If you are, let me just say this. I don't care how you got here. It's what you do once you get here.
That's it.
Are you trying to be a productive member of our society? You, to me, are welcome. That's all. That's what I care about. Are you just trying to live a good life?
Yes.
Because nobody owns anything in this world. The world is all of ours. There's enough. There's enough for everybody. There's enough resources for everybody. So let's just remind ourselves of that, and everybody fucking take a chill pill.
And death to American hypocrisy. No, we got more rules for people coming in and what they need to do than we upstand here ourselves. So that's what I'm saying. You'll never. It ain't that problem. The problem ain't with the people coming in. The problem is with the folks that are here that believe a certain set of fake ass standards that they don't even live up to when they go.
It's distraction. Because if you think about how much they kept pushing this whole thing about the trans in the bathrooms and your children getting assaulted with them, and and then the people coming from the men coming from Mexico and how they can rape women, and it's y'all that's sitting in the damn Senate seat right fucking now It's bullshit because they are the ones. That's exactly why gays. Don't see y'all get me started.
No, that's why he stepped down. That's why he stepped down.
Right, but that's what I'm
But
saying.
wait,
All this time he's been there, and this is the stuff they talk about when it's them.
Right.
It's
Right.
them.
Generally, the people that allowed us in the
Man.
room, and I'm not even going to speak on the number of politicians that we have, are either down low in the closet, making laws for folks that acting as if it don't pertain to them.
Come on now. Let's not talk about Mr. North Carolina.
Let's not talk about Mr. Florida. Let's not talk about a lot of them. Welcome back. Welcome home, McGreevy. At the end of the day,
with those white pump boots.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. We love. Like again, we love to throw the rock and hide our hand.
Demonize people because you can't look at the mirror and love who you are. So
have
you
all
want to make
seen
everybody
Wicked?
else look bad.
Have y'all seen Wicked?
No,
yes.
not yet.
I saw it on Broadway.
The movie.
I'm gonna watch it, but I haven't seen it.
I just saw the movie, and there are some messages. And if y'all see it and we come back next week, could we discuss it right quick? Because try to see it. Try to see it. So we could. That's the assignment, y'all. Everybody go see Wicked.
Okay.
If you can. And let's discuss it because there are some themes in there. There are some obvious themes. And I'm gonna give away something. It's not
no, don't. I gotta watch it.
But it could be a movie spoiler, so I won't say it. But okay, I won't say shit. Just go see the damn movie. Okay,
right. We'll talk about it next week.
You are watching and listening to Live in the Basement with JaVonne and Terez and Gigi on WJBR Internet Radio for the inquisitive mind and the sophisticated ear. If you ain't grown, no, tell me too much.
No, tell me too much.
That's right. You know what? My shoulder has been killing me, but
I see you doing that.
Yeah, man. I'm going to see a what do you call it? What do you call them? Orthopedic surgeon.
Orthopedic.
Yeah, to see on Monday to see what we could do about this because this is hard. But I think Tammy Too Much might be on TikTok later on, spinning the wheels of steel. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
what's up, Queen Lioness of Judah? What's up?
Hey, y'all, good to see you too.
Hello.
So with that, I think it's time that we I want to give a shout out to the iconic icon Indira Khan, Shaka Khan's baby girl, who was watching us on Instagram.
Hey, Indira.
Yes, friend of the show. I'm gonna take a break and do a Black History moment. And yeah, Gigi, you are welcome to hang out with us today if you are up to it. And if not, yeah, how about that, right? And
thank you.
We'll do a Black History moment. And what I also would like to do, if you're down with it, Rez, you let me know. We need to start reintroducing some of our rapid fires. Replay some of the older ones and then start bringing in new guests or repeat guests so that we can compare and contrast. That would be fun, right? Like pre and post pandemic rapid fires. How about that?
That'll work. I'd love to know some of their fiery, particularly if they've said some things that I want to know whether they still stand on business.
Yeah, let's do that. So we're gonna start bringing back some guests. So everybody hold on to that, and some guests who may have never been here before. Let's do that as well. So, but before we do any of that, let's have a Black History moment. Okay, so we're going to watch a little film. Today is the birthday. Oh, They make you do a little puzzle on TikTok. You TikTok. Today is the birthday of Shirley Chisholm.
Mhm.
So I think it's important that we all know a little something.
Brooklyn.
Okay. So let's see if I could do this right. You know, Tammy, too much. Here I go. Let's go. Let's share. What do we want to share? We want to share this. Let's do it.
Reagan was the president. I voted for Shirley Chisholm.
Did that work, y'all? Yes, it did.
Yes.
And let's go.
Do you think that America is ready for a woman president?
I think America is more ready for a woman president than it has ever been before. I am not the candidate for Black America, although I'm Black and proud. I'm not the candidate for female America, although I'm equally proud of that. I'm the candidate for all Americans.
While other Democratic candidates jet across the state, she travels in a Greyhound bus, accompanied by her supporters and a small band of journalists. The atmosphere is decidedly folksy.
She couldn't raise the kind of money that the guys could raise, but I did a lot of fundraising. Brunches for Shirley Chisholm, fashion shows for Shirley Chisholm.
Shirley Chisholm puts in a 14-hour campaign day. When she's not on a platform, she's canvassing in the streets and the public parks.
I actually was the one who talked to Huey Newton and convinced him that the Black Panther Party should get involved in her campaign, and they did. And then, so we conducted a massive voter registration drive. And so we did it differently.
Shirley Chisholm plays her piano at an Arlington cocktail party. It's being held in her honor by affluent white ladies. They hope she can get enough delegate support to influence the party platform at its July convention.
Mrs. Chisholm, how does it feel to be the first Black woman in Congress?
Well, it's long overdue, but it's the most wonderful feeling.
I had a course in government, and part of the course requirement was to work in a presidential campaign. And I said, no way, these guys don't reflect the issues and the concerns that I have. But at the same time, I was president of the Black Student Union. I invited Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm to speak.
What is so wrong with an Indian for the head of the Department of Interior and a woman for the head of HEW? Yes, and a Black man for vice president.
She came and she spoke, and she said she was ready for president. And she talked about immigrant rights. She spoke fluent Spanish. She talked about reproductive health care for women. I have a picture of several of us young women with Shirley, and I'm sort of in the background looking over at her in awe. And I felt like, oh my God, this woman, she's taken on this white male-dominated Congress. I ended up organizing the Northern California Shirley Chisholm primary campaign out of my class at Mills College.
Hands reach out for her, as they once did for Bobby Kennedy. And in Quincy, the candidate catches fire. Despite the people's wholehearted response, most of America's Black political leaders are withholding their support.
I remember going to the Black Political Convention in Gary, Indiana, and the guys would not allow the endorsement for her to come forward, even though she was the only Black person running for the presidency. Some called her crazy. Some said she didn't know what she was doing. I mean, it was very, very tense.
While the Black caucus bickered to find a consensus male candidate, Mrs. Chisholm outmaneuvered them by declaring herself the champion of America's Black people.
George Wallace was the one who turned dogs on Black people in Alabama. He was the worst person in the world in terms of racism. And Shirley Chisholm went to visit him in the hospital. Well, some of us went ballistic. I could not understand why she would go visit the segregationist. And she said, he's a human being. He got shot. He's going to be paralyzed. And you never know. Maybe I can help him see his racist nature. But he then became an ally on some issues that Shirley Chisholm was working on in Congress. She was really happy about what she had accomplished. She said, you know, at the end, the country was different. And she said, I hope I've opened the door for people who look like me to see they can do it too. And she paved the way for Jesse Jackson and then Barack Obama.
You've been in politics now for more than 20 years. Don't you ever get tired of fighting an uphill battle?
I hope eventually to be able to just sit back and guide a lot of beautiful young leaders in this country.
I was so proud to be able to wear her pearls. Her goddaughter sent them to me. It was just for me a remarkable moment to have Shirley Chisholm there. It was because of Shirley Chisholm I am, and because of Shirley Chisholm Kamala Harris is.
Powerful. I'm so sorry we didn't
Great
get that
story.
before the actual verdict. That's what I call
Right.
it. Came out. But Shirley Chisholm, yes, and it doesn't really, when you're running for the people, it doesn't matter what your skin color is, and that's where all the race baiting starts. Oh, I'm going to vote for her because she's a Black woman. No, sweetheart, vote for her because you allowed yourself to be a little more open-minded than that. You vote for her because you read and looked at some of her long career and saw what
Right.
she stood for and saw what she's implemented while in several different commands. Saw that she probably, her resume alone probably outranked most of the presidents that we've had seated. Person that you want to see, not just because you don't want to, your ego is bruised or insecure. I was in the grocery store and this woman was arguing and her husband kind of flipped. I'm assuming it was her husband, but he flipped and, his final word was a tag toward her, but she was quiet. She was like, they were talking openly with someone who appeared to be their son. Waiting in this long line, and I shouldn't have been in the grocery store the day of the morning of Thanksgiving. And he's going on and on about that's why this, mom, and that's why that, and whatever. So she's looking at him and he's going back. That's why Trump is in office, because he was complaining about the price of food. That's what it was. So she goes into, Trump's going to be in office, and I'm going to be able to do this business and that business, and, and people don't understand. So the older gentleman that was with them who had his hands on the actual cart, or they're bickering back and forth, I wanted them to shut up desperately. And the gentleman finally turns and he goes, well, neither one of you are paying for anything in this cart. Neither one of y'all are paying for anything. Some people, moral of the story is some people just like to hear themselves talk. This inflated, grandiose idea of self that just doesn't make sense. So, we'll see. And I'm not gonna and that meme that's going around with the Black women sitting on the roof, super tired, and now we're in a self-care mode, because it's not like we're going to be unassigned. We all came here on a certain assignment anyway, right? But we do have to practice self-care, And Gigi, I was going to ask you, which is funny, I'm landing on self-care, because you've been digging in the stuff for us and dissecting and reading, and I am so grateful for it because you got a gift that I don't have, and I'm grateful for your presence. How do you practice self-care, given all the information that you are inputting that may go against your every cell in your body?
After the conversation that I had with JaVonne 10 years ago at Longhorns, you remember us, right? Sitting at that table at the restaurant, me, you, JaVonne, Cheryl, and opening my eyes to, I don't want to just say politics, but my life in what I live every day. Because I don't think a lot of people see it that way. They go, I'm not into politics. I don't pay attention to politics. But you are in your home breathing air. You're able to go in your kitchen and turn on a light. You get in your car and drive down a road, right? And I don't think people really pay attention to all of those things is politics.
Right.
All of those things is your life. You are politics. You are government. And I never saw it that way until that conversation that day at that restaurant. Ever since that day, JaVonne will tell you, I have been on fire. I have not looked back.
You know what, Gigi? You just made me proud, and my life now has meaning.
Why are you saying that, JaVonne?
If you don't
True.
pass on what you believe, and somebody else maybe not believe exactly what you believe, whether they believe you, agree with you, or disagree, but they're able to take what you say and keep that thing, and it inspires them to do their own thing, then you've made your life is meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
If you
Well,
pass
thank you.
any one thing on, and thank you for sharing that, hun. That means a
And
lot to me.
and thank you for giving that to me, right? Because though, like I said, my family has always been very affluent. They all had homes. My aunt worked for the Attorney General Robert M. way back when, and I was always in the Twin Towers back then, and as a little girl, and so I've been around. My grandmother was a nurse, and always at the hospital. Her husband was a white tee police officer, so I was there. My uncle was at Belmont racetracks. I was always around horses, so I've done a lot of different things as a child growing up, right? But do you realize that none of them ever took the time to teach me anything about government? I don't remember ever going to a poll with any of them. But we drove to the highlights in Connecticut for them to bet on games. And we went to different places in Florida to go to trips. But do you understand? They always went to cruises, and they always did Aruba. But did you ever instill in me something that had to do with my rights as a young Black woman? They did not do that, right? So JaVonne's conversation with me that day opened up something that obviously was locked. It obviously was there, but I never knew it was there. And I'm going to tell you why I say that. My father, who I only met when I was 15 years old, he and I are very close now, right? When he was here, he came for my 50th birthday. We were driving around. He started telling me about my grandmother, who passed now, and she had dementia. So I really only spent a little bit of time getting to know her when my son was maybe about 2 or 3 years old. But my father told me that my grandmother was part of a small group of people that supported the Black Panthers. She helped fortify a building in Queens that helped bring young women and men off the streets, so they had somewhere to go during the times when that's all they did was do drugs and run the streets and do all these things. She was that person. She was out marching. And now I understand that thing that was locked in me that JaVonne helped to light that fire was my grandmother from my dad's side. Because now my father says, you remind me so much of your grandmother. The way I talk to him, the things that he sees on my pages, and the things that I'm doing. And I'm doing it because I can't have any more children, right? I have grandchildren, but this isn't about me, right? To me now, government is about pulling off those pieces of selfishness that we've held so close to our chest and looking to how you can help your neighbors, your friends, and your family. What is the legacy you're leaving behind for them? Because for me, this book of 922 pages that I have and that I read through and highlight scares me for the next 50 years of what my children's children will have to endure. And it is our job to do something different. It is our job to do what JaVonne did for me and speak to those and move their hearts and get them to do something outside of themselves. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be something that we enjoy to do, but we are here for a purpose. And now I know what mine is. So thank you, JaVonne. Thank you for Terez, for y'all taking the time. Thank you, Pop, for this show. Thank you for allowing this platform to get my story and JaVonne's and Terez and all those others out so that they know that we are here to do something outside of ourselves that does not feel good, frustrated, aggravated, tired. But just even in this time with y'all is what gives me the peace that I need, Terez. It's what gives me the peace. It's what gives me the self that I need in my home to clean up my office and prepare for this moment. That's all I need right now.
Oh, thank you for that. Thank you for every word. Because it's important, because I often think of you that I'm a huge empath. And also, and JaVonne will tell you, I always ask her, Silky, what are you doing for self-care? What are you doing? It's the slogan Tupac said, I may not be the person to change the world, but I promise you I'll be the spark. I'll be the person that sparks the mind of the person who does. And I think, and I paraphrase the hell out of it, but you get what I'm saying. And it's important. And JaVonne, thank you for being obedient.
My job is done. I'm going home now. Oh, I am home. Shit.
But it's real. Thank you, Queen Linus. It's, I don't know. You hit 50, JaVonne say 60, but I say 50, and some things eventually just roll off and some things stick and stay. And I hope the things that mean something are the things that's sticking and staying with me until the day I take my last breath on this earth. So until then, Grandma, I hope you're proud of what I'm trying to do in your name now.
Oh, absolutely. She lives through you. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tag, and I think that we're all responsible to a certain degree to tag the next person and tell them, you tag a friend with that knowledge, because we're gonna have to create a new underground railroad, y'all, for information that with what we project may be coming this way, and to piggyback off here, Shirley Chisholm, Pop has posted the changing faces of democracy. Shirley Chisholm at 100 today. It's now through July 20th, 2025. It's an exhibit at the Museum of the New York City Museum, 1225th Avenue at 103rd Street. And it's from Monday to Friday, Saturday and Sunday, but 9 to 5, Saturday, Sunday, 10 to 6. And, go check it out. It'll be there through July 20th, 2025. Shirley Chisholm, Changing Faces of Democracy. I think we need to check that out.
And
I think we should do that together.
Last
that would
week,
be great.
The New York City Council voted to declare November 30th as Shirley Chisholm Day. Her life and legacy will be celebrated at this particular museum. And so that has to happen.
Yes.
Kamala was very clear that she stood on the shoulders of Shirley Chisholm.
Yes, she was.
She was very clear. And if you value the ancestors and the legacies and what they went through and what they taught and what they stood for, and you use that to further grow yourself and stand on those principles, I see Kamala as a success. Some people feel like we failed, but she was a success in ways, not the way that we wanted her to be a success. But she was successful in getting out a message of hope, a message of love, a message of strength, a message of Black power, a message of people power, a message of women power.
Yes.
A message of equality, happiness, and potential, a message of hope.
And joy.
And joy. Joy. Joy.
Did it while laughing.
Yes.
like somebody was tickling her.
Listen,
yes.
That was my favorite part, because you can always tell when the demons are disturbed, right? Because when you laugh or when you're joyful, it annoys people. It's like, nobody paying attention to you. Like, I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna have a good time doing this, and we don't know what the outcome is gonna be. But America's got to clean. Like, we don't get the luxury, I think, of because the universe is going to decide ultimately what the plan is going to be, right? And by universe, I mean our higher power. And when it gets tired, it will do what it does in the ice ages and shake all our Black ass and white asses and all whoever asses off the planet.
That's right.
We can't take care of it. It'll get rid of us. We tend to forget that we're not at the top of the food chain here, and for all of choose to be, because at this point you either choosing or not choosing to be soulless in this whole account. This is spiritual, some kind of spiritual warfare we got
There's
going on.
spiritual warfare. Yes.
There are a lot of folks looking directly at you, smelling like you, sounding like you, but they are demons. And at the end of the day, it's like, to not want the best for your fellow man, or to not want a peaceful world for your children, or not want, your children to benefit from things is just outrageous. We've grown out of a lot of things, and our kids today are not us from the 60s, 50s, 70s, wherever we were at spaces where we had, civil rights marches and things like that. They're from the fuck around and find out kind of campaign.
They sure are.
And some of us may have to, join that coalition, because at the end of the day, you're just not going to do it. There's abundance and there's enough for everybody. This idea that some of us have and some of us don't have anything, it's not sustainable. It really isn't. Doesn't make sense why corporations continue to make billions of dollars, and you've got people that are homeless. And
here's the thing. Kamala showed, and I hate to keep dragging a dead horse or whatever the hell, but she showed that she will attack price gougers, and she will win, and she will get that money back to the people.
Yeah.
How in the fuck could the people not want that?
Because she was a woman.
I understand that.
Thank you.
I wouldn't give a shit if it was the yellow M&M that wanted to get me fair prices.
They probably would have voted more for the yellow M&M. It's sad to say, but they would have voted more for the yellow M&M over the black woman.
And that's as painful as that sounds.
It's true.
That is what the fact of the matter is, because we already pegged it to keep going around the loop-de-loo on, why and how could they? Black woman, enough.
Yep.
And some just woman.
Yeah.
A woman ain't gonna tell me what to do in my house. Like, listen, some of it's enriched in a lot of different people's culture. Women are not, parallel or equal. They are, like some of them it's religion too. Women are not seen, even in
as equal.
The Christian churches, they still don't want women to be pastors. Like we gotta think about where society holds this women as a whole,
and where women hold themselves.
Yes,
that part too. It's a lot of Stockholm syndrome going on. I'm going to vote because my husband tells me, or my wife tells me.
And even some women will say, "I don't think a woman can run this country."
Yeah.
Yes.
You run your household?
Probably not, but yeah.
Kimberly said, I think we are under a big psychological operation. How else are people able to vote against their interests? We've been under a psychological operation since the very beginning of time, Kimberly.
Absolutely.
You're absolutely right. Do not question it. It is psychological. Just the idea of race, as per Sister Jane Elliott. There is no race other than
race.
Human
race.
We are all the same. There's
all
no black, there's no white. You are not black, they are not white. They lack melanin.
Right.
Period.
It's a color.
Their hair is stringy. Period. Our hair is more coarse and curly. Period. We have melanin. We have melanin. Other than that, we are biologically and anatomically, for the most part, the same. There are some things based on region, and I don't know why we have such good rhythm, though. We're so much better at
get the rhythm. It's from the drums, baby. It's from the drums.
But we're also, and that thing is solidified in our DNA. But there are some differences, granted, but we are all people and we are all one race, the human race. So there has to be an enemy in order to get poor people separated. See, we were all poor, white and black. And in order to separate and give people more power, they looked at the people that looked just like them and said, you're better than the other people. And so the poor people that looked like them said, yeah. And that's how this happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how this happened. I'm making it short, but
And other countries have had female leaders. Most famously, I mean, if you read the story of Margaret Thatcher, and there have had women leaders in other countries. So it's not a new concept. It's just that over here it's about specifically about power, and it's about
but that's because the greed and I think, if I'm not mistaken, if I am mistaken, somebody correct me. But when this country was founded, and we all share the DNA of our ancestors, right? When this country was refounded, I'll say, and rebranded as the corporation in which it is, right?
Amen.
Mm-hmm. Say that again.
The people that came over from England were mostly the people who were criminals, people who were in trouble, people who England wanted to kick out of their country for some reason. They weren't like the smartest, the brightest, the best people. They were nefarious. They were, not to say there wasn't some good about them. I mean, there's good in everybody. However, they came over and they did some horrible things. They did some really, really horrible things, and they continued generationally to do horrible things. And so, as they see their power, their perceived power
diminishing,
mm-hmm. They are going back to what is inherently their makeup. They're going back to their instinct, which is to be nefarious.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
No,
they're going back to those instincts. Our instinct, my instinct, when something is changing, is to assess and to see if this is a good change. Is this something, like, I'm really okay? Is this good? And if it's good, can I assimilate, and can I bring something to it? Can I make it even better? It's a change. It's different. Change is hard. Who moved my cheese? Who moved my cheese? If y'all never heard of that, look it up. Right? Because change is good. It's just hard.
It's whatever you say it's going to be, really.
Right. It's what you say it's going to be. Mm-hmm. But for them, all of them, the ones that got power and the ones that don't, this looking like this. Hold up. Wait a minute.
JaVonne, the fact that the poor people in their mind think that the 1% of the richest people in the world would ever want them to sit at the same table as them is the craziest thing, that you can't even make that make sense.
Right.
Because they continuously do everything to push us down to make more for them to move up. But you think that this whole plan of having DJT in office is to help you get to where he is? Where would you think that that's what this is about? As they continue to grift you with fish heads singing, gold sneakers, fake ass watches, Bibles made in China. Like, at what point do you think that any of the things that he is doing, but taking your money that you work for and putting and giving to him, is helping you?
I was just looking for this picture and I cannot find it. But y'all probably have seen the meme where there's three men sitting at a table. There's a brown man sitting on the left. There's a white man with a construction hat sitting on the white. And then there's a white man with a shirt and tie sitting at the head of the table. And the white man at the head of the table has a whole like pail full of cookies. And the white man has a plate with one cookie on it. And the brown man, the black man, has no cookies in his head. He's got his head in his hand, right? And the white man is saying to the other white man with the one cookie, he's saying, that foreigner wants your cookie. You better be careful. And that's what it is. That's the psychology right there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm.
Kimberly said, I was talking with a guy who said that other world leaders would try a woman president,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And, I don't know. I told him that she would have been the commander in chief of the most powerful military in the history of the world. They can jump if they feel froggy, and watch what would have happened.
Mm. Yeah.
And this makes them scary and nefarious. Fear of losing that one cookie. And they are really masterful in fear mongering.
Trick
Yes.
knowledge. Trick
Yep.
knowledge.
Trick
Yeah.
This is
knowledge.
a long game. These textbooks been tainted for a long time. Y'all been reading a bunch of trash for a long time. From the time you sat in the indoctrination called education in this country. I don't care if it's a Head Start, a kindergarten, where they teach you the colors all the way up. The moment you crack open one of those assigned textbooks, you have been indoctrinated and tricked into whatever is in them. Because 90% of the information in them, outside of the math books, where that's why they say numbers don't lie, because you can't twist them. It is going to be what's going to be. Now, what you can see can be different, but the numbers are going to be the same. But you crack open a social studies book, in some cases a science book, an English book, and it's any man's guess, because a majority of it is not the truth. And it's definitely not the truth about you.
Absolutely. All right, so now I want to take a minute. And Gigi, did you have something else you wanted to say?
I was just thinking about, that poem that, that DJT always read about the snake, where his reference about the snake always had to do with talking about, fear mongering of Mexican immigrants. That's what his reference to it was. But he didn't realize that with his passion and how he always said it, realized that this poem was reflective of him. Right? I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with the snake poem or not, but I just, while you were talking, that's what had came to me. The woman, the snake, and how the snake tells him, well, you knew I was a snake when you invited me in. And the fact that he always says that poem with such veracity and passion, like because in his mind, he's telling them it's about migrants from Mexico. But it always comes off when he says it, he's talking about himself. Right? And it is so true to fact. I was a snake when you invited me in.
But you know what? This is the season of FAFO.
Yes, it is.
This is the season of FAFO. And for those who forget, you are doomed to repeat. If you forget the lesson, think of a child who touches fire. Once they get burnt, they don't play with it no more. Unless they forgot that touching that thing is hot and it hurts. And they touch it again and they FAFO. And then they eventually get it. You remember that thing is hot, you don't want to go to it no more.
Well, we have a convenience, we have a convenience because sometimes when you have a situation and you think you need closure from it, and the closure doesn't happen right away. The closure may happen years down the line of some egregious situation that occurred to you. And then here you have the person that shows up, and all of a sudden 2 years later, you want to go have this only conversation with the person when you know what, you've lived 2 years without the closure. It's nonsense. Yeah. It's nonsense. Yeah. Like, understand that we are more powerful than we think, and we set ourselves up for a lot of the stuff that occurs. You don't need no fucking closure. The closure was the incident.
Sometimes closure is good, though. Sometimes closure is good.
I can't think of a sense where it is, because sometimes it's our inability to recognize the act for being the act. believing the act as it occurred. You know, now that we walk away with two misunderstandings about something that happened, but some things you don't need closure for. The act was the closure. You know?
Sometimes you're right. Sometimes you don't.
Sometimes. But you know, I'm a proponent for closure in some things. You know, if it's personal, then yeah.
Oh, personal.
You know, but then again, I'm a Scorpio. I'll wait 25 years for closure. Because I'm gonna get it. Okay.
But that's just it. But what does it come from? You know, 25 years, you don't need it.
That's not necessarily true.
Really?
That is, yes.
I guess it depends on the
I'll tell you
situation.
Want or need?
I will tell you that the personal closure that I got after, and probably more than 25 years if I count. Okay. But the personal closure that I got, it soothed a part of my soul. That's so I mean, a part of my soul. Like there's other parts that don't need soothing. But sometimes you know, this society and our psyche can get us wrapped up in a thing. And of course you move on and you live your life. You can live your life without closure. I'm not saying that, you don't have no closure, you dead. No. I'm not saying that. You get up and you keep it moving, baby.
Right.
However, you get that closure. I do have one example I can share with you.
Okay.
Not the most recent one, but when I was younger and out of high school, I took a year off and didn't go straight to college, right? I went to college a year later. I went to NYU. And for various reasons, I flunked out, right? Dropped out, flunked out, whatever you want to call it. That thing bothered me for years. That was something that it haunted me. I ended up going back to night school, got my bachelor's degree, but at another school, but there was still a piece of, there was something. It wasn't even really a conscious thought, but there was something that made me feel less than. There was something. Years later, I decided that I wanted to get my master's degree. So I applied back to NYU. I applied to Columbia, and I applied to Hunter, I think. Columbia was an Ivy League school. For me, in my brain, 1/2 step above NYU. That's just in my brain. When I received a letter from NYU saying, "Welcome back, we're glad to have you back," and I turned them down and accepted the offer to get my master's at Columbia University, I had closure. For me, that's closure. And I felt like that whole NYU undergrad dropping out thing because I wanted to hang out in Washington Square Park with my friends, voguing as they were being filmed for Paris is Burning. Okay.
Oh my God.
Because I wanted to hang out at Better Days and Garbos and so forth and so on. I can't look, I'm old and decrepit and can't even, my arms I can't even vote now. I could fake it and with this one hand just staying right there. So I'm just saying, see, I keep this hand here and just move the other one. But I felt like I had closure on that era. When I turned them down and went to Columbia, I felt
I can see where you're using closure in this sense that, you know, but this is personal. That's you
right.
on you.
So that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's all personal and relative to the person. It's not just, you know, what you get from that is what you get. But I don't think that if somebody needs closure or wants to have a conversation, I don't care how long it's been, you might want to have a conversation about something. especially just to see, you know what I'm saying? It's a personal thing. It's relative. It's not to say, oh, don't do that or that's wrong. It's relative.
I didn't say don't do.
But it sounds like, no, I'm just saying it sounds very like, oh, if you need that, of course you can survive without it, but whether you want it or not is relative. And if you act on it, that's your fucking business.
Okay. Thank you.
Unapologetic Betty. She's on shit this year. She's on some shit this year. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. I just want to maintain that I did not mean everybody, and I didn't say it was wrong to. No. It's not implied. And see, that's just the thing. Like, oh no, it's not. It's just not. Okay, it's not implied. I didn't imply it either. Just for the. Okay, well.
I'm just saying, in my opinion.
No, got it. No, your feelings are your feelings. You're right. You're entitled to them, but they're not facts, right? So I'm just saying that it wasn't something that I directly implied. What I'm saying is just think about the idea that, you know, because there's some people that stop their life emotionally or psychologically, stops at a certain point because they can't get what they need from another person, right? And then, you know, they need the closure. And the idea is that you put that power in somebody else and your well-being in somebody else's hand. It's a little tricky because if you don't get it, like, let's just say this motherfucker never, you put your power in somebody.
Then you live your life.
Then you live your life.
But some people don't, is what you're saying. Some people don't.
Right.
So the idea that this closure must exist for you to exist. That's what I'm speaking to. Maybe I should.
And those people who can't get past it need that closure. We can't speak to what other people.
But if you don't get it, then what
happens?
What happens if the person just simply passes away? How do you manage that piece?
So for some people who, all right. So you know how we always say check on your strong friends.
Mm-hmm.
Let's assume that our strong friends don't need closure. There are some of our friends that might need it. Mm-hmm. So there are ways when you, if you are a person, and let's use Rez's example, that you feel like you needed closure and or something is still bothering you from way back when, and somebody either died or moved away, and it haunts you to the point that you can't get past it.
Mm-hmm.
There are some therapeutic methods of getting that closure for yourself.
Right.
You can write a letter.
Right.
And mail it to that person. Put that joint, just put their name on it, put it in because you don't know where they are, or they could be dead, or take it to their gravestone if it's a family member. And
I did it. I wrote a letter and buried it in the sand in Maui. Sure did.
I'm sorry, I saw that comment. I should have warned you. She was over here pointing at the screen like you can't see her. I know baby, you know this. My speakers for the things are right through your head.
I'm so sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I got nothing but love for you. Unapologetic Betty. Don't apologize.
That was hilarious. Oh.
But like she said, you know, there are just different ways to handle it. I was fortunate. I had, okay, so here's I hate saying too much personal stuff, but I will share this. I had an ex when I was a little kid. Yeah, I started early.
Don't say little kid.
No, don't say kid.
Young kid.
No, I was a kid.
How old?
Too young to disclose how old I was.
Geez.
Okay.
Then it wasn't your ex.
Well, let me just say this. When I said, get on your mark, get set, go, and jump they bones. Okay. That's how old I was. Okay. You figure it out. So we had a lovely affair about 4 or 5 years. And then I was dumped. I need some background music for this shit.
Dun, 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 dun.
That I was dumped. I'm not going to say more than that. But Pop said, the views expressed here on Live in the Basement are seen most often in personal opinion, do not represent the opinions of everything here at WJBR Internet Radio. And I was not hashtag a young adult. And it was complicated. And I appreciate that I'm seasoned and not old, but even the seasoning needs to be thrown out at this point because anyway, that thing stung me, and I think it played a part in my self-esteem for many years, and I just wanted to. I felt like I wanted to. Pop said,
Old Bay.
Old
Has some Old Bay.
Not
That's
Old
so
Bay.
cute, Pop.
Old Bay.
Old Bay.
I'm somebody's
Oh,
Old
you my
Bay
old-
now.
you my old-
That's my Old Bay right there. But
funny.
that is funny. That is hysterical. But anyway,
Look at Raz. Raz is falling out on that one.
I needed some closure. I needed to
Oh,
know what had happened. Because we were like this. But what had happened? But I went on my merry little way. You know, I had to live. And I'm a Scorpio, so I had to get that, I had to get it somewhere, Shit, I'm gonna get mine. Yes. I'm gonna get I'm gonna get mine. So I had to go and get mine. I'm just saying. Don't be offended. Be mended by me.
Oh, jeez.
Get mended. Or
no,
bend
but
it.
no closure.
Get bended. Yeah.
Gigi said, but no closure.
Right. So I had no closure.
But no closure.
So for many years I had no closure. I was just doing, I ran into this person's family and I was like, yo, crickets on how to contact this person. Still hurt. All right. And then somewhat concerned because they also, they took a curve in life, whatever. However, a couple of years ago, we got back in touch and conversations were held and I got closure. And I feel stronger. Not only it just impacts me in a different way. I was living my life, like it, like it was silver. Now it's golden. No.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just saying.
I'm not gonna say that folks that we encounter do not either take us off our trajectory or have impact enough to change our emotional spaces. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that, once you've attempted in the adult way to have a conversation about whatever it is, and you didn't get it, or for whatever reasons, the person is incapable of giving closure, then we got to think about, like you said, some of those other methods, of doing it.
And Rez, me. There are some instances I don't even want your closure.
Yes.
You fuck around and find out. You.
Yep. Especially when them your chillins.
Well, there's
Don't
some.
get me started.
There's some people. You do you could say it's the wrong thing, or you could say you do the right thing, but you don't ever have to worry about me trying to get closure from you. You might, on the low, be trying to get closure from me, but if I'm not feeling you, I'm not feeling you. And here's the thing: there have been people who I didn't realize I offended who came to me for closure. Like, I remember I used to work in New York City at HRA, HASA, right? And this was many years ago, but an old high school friend of mine, this girl, she came through, and I was surprised, and saddened, and I wanted to help her, because she's now a client there, right?
Oh, okay.
And I was like, oh my goodness. I said, it's so good to see you. I said, let me see how I can help you. She said, I once wanted to burn your mother's house down.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
To say.
Hell no.
Oh, wow. Okay.
No.
I said, excuse me?
Wow.
She said, you really fucking hurt me.
Wow.
So, I had no idea. I thought we graduated from high school and that was that. I thought I went on my merry way. I thought, okay, peace. Peace is my nieces, But
damn, JaVonne. You did something bad. You wanted to go all in. You wanted the Angela Bassett you. Like,
you're young, you thinking you're self-absorbed. What are you thinking? Sure, it's a mess.
I didn't know anybody was hurt. My pullout game is better than that.
Good night, y'all.
When I say pullout game, I mean pulling out of it.
It's not even 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow.
I'm talking about pulling out of a relationship. Or relations. My relations. I can pull out of my relations better than that. But I thought we was cool. Okay, peace. So she needed closure.
Well, it's also important. Well, did she need the closure, or she ran into you and got it, or gave it to you?
No, she needed it. I was already closed, but she needed it, so I opened up and I gave it to her.
But I believe it's your responsibility if you are hurt by something, right? Sometimes people are moving in their spaces, and they don't realize that they stepped on a landmine unless you tell them. Now, if you give a person momentum of stepping on the same landmine, then who's ultimately responsible? Because you can't be my gatekeeper, but I'm required to tell you, ouch, that hurt. However, the way it comes out, I'm just saying, like 90% of the time, it was like, oh, hold up, now you can't do that. We learn our barometers, or what we can, because after a while, it's not the other, it's us. Like if you watch the person kick you 25 times and you didn't say anything, and then on the 30th time you grab their foot and say, you kicked me 25 times. That person is clueless, because at that point, could they not think that you like to be kicked?
But see, Terez, that's the difference in human beings. People are wired different. There are people that will sit back quietly and accept abuse until they can't take it anymore. There are those that sit back and take abuse with Stockholm syndrome, and when the abuser walks away, they're like, where's my abuse? Thank you, sir. May I have another? There are those who feel hurt by something, and because they care about your feelings and your friendship, won't say anything.
That's more of a reason too, because if I've done something or you've done something that, because it can go there. If somebody has done something or is teetering on doing something that I need clarity about, and I care about them as a friend, but I'm about to say fuck you, I want to talk to them. I want to tell them how that was, so we can do some course correct.
Let me tell you. Can I go into a real quick story? So
you can.
There's somebody I've known since I was 5 years old. We were close, but it always seemed like our other group of people always said that I allowed them to always push the boundaries. When we went out to dinner, they never had money. I'm always the one that was, when we were younger, I was like 3 of us. We always took care of this person. Like, I don't know why. Over the last couple of years, during COVID, saying hello, checking on them, always that person. Hey, how you doing? Let's try to meet up, go to visit them. They don't really come here. And then I hit 50. I'm telling y'all, something happened. I remember people telling me that. Something, just like, yeah, no, I don't care. I don't want to deal with you with stuff. And one day they claimed that they text me Happy Easter. And I didn't text back. Okay. Well, first of all, everybody sending happy resurrection. He said, like, I might have just missed it, but okay, I was doing something. I don't know. 3 days later, they text me and say, hey, I ain't heard from you. What's going on? And then they end up calling me the following week. And they got on the phone with me. Now, this is a person who never calls me back when I call, never texts back when I call, always call them when it's their birthday, their children, their mother. But this time, they took offense that I did not respond to them and went into this whole tirade. And all the while, I'm thinking, you joking, right? I like, yourself, no, I'm serious. They were dead ass serious. And I literally had to go back through and check her. Not nastily, but to say, listen, I think that we've gotten off on a 50+ year relationship where you've always gotten over. Now, this is the time for you to fuck around and find out that I'm not the same person you've known since those years, right? And I said, you know, this happened, and you remember this happened, and then this happened, and then they're like, wait, what? I don't remember this. Oh, I know you don't remember, but I do. And I just want to tell you that I'm not that person. We good. We can go ahead and make things right. Say this. I just feel you've been very disingenuous about certain things, and now let's get it all out on the table and clear. Oh, I'm apologizing. We're good. After that conversation, never heard from them again. Being that when you stand up in your true self and you finally speak out about the hurts, the pains of all the years and the things you've done, I've let you get away with, like you said, then now you don't even want to take accountability. You don't want to admit that you might have been wrong, that you might have understood, but you sat on the phone and you were angry because I guess I used the word disingenuous, but did you not turn out to be disingenuous? When you said that we were good at the end and we loved each other and we were starting a new path forward.
I walked you into that backwards, Gigi, because that message was really for the supporters of those individuals, not necessarily individuals, because they're going to be who they're going to be, right? It's the people that stand around, know they did wrong, but for the sake of peace, they don't call them out on it. Right? And they go years with this muck and mire until somebody has to say, you know what, that's bad behavior, and I don't have to take that.
That's right. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, shame on both of us.
That's it.
Pop said closure refers to the sense of peace, understanding, and release that comes with accepting that a relationship has ended. Everyone experiences relationship losses, and some endings are more complex, painful, or confusing than others. And some of us just need to wrap that up in a neat little, bow, and standing up for your full self. So I didn't get to play the rapid fire I wanted to play today, and that's cool because we had a nice, thorough, robust conversation. And so here we'll do a little closure for today's segment. Thank you, JaVonne, Terez, and Gigi. Happy Saturday to everyone. Stay safe. Remember self-care. Wash your hands and spread love all day. And that's coming from a Poppy Chulo. And with that,
thank you, Pop.
We're out. Peace, love, and soul.
Peace.
Peace.
Still in the basement, no longer alone, with my homegirl Terez on the microphone. Music, politics, or just chatting it up. Brunch in the basement, see, that's what's up. You never know who might run through. Legendary artists or someone brand new. You miss a lot when you miss one day. At least that's what I heard somebody say. But it doesn't really matter what whoever says. It's always a good show with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Brunch in the basement with JaVonne and Terez. Yeah. Let's see who we got today or what we doing today or whatever it is, it's gonna be good. Woo!
I love you all so much.
Just whatever the first thing that
Adam and Eve.
We can see you now.
I know. And thank God.
Yeah. That's generally the response we get from everybody, but we keep it clean.